Hello YouTube, hope you all are doing great. We're going to play some rapid chess against Mavara 1931. Opened up with d4, so I'm going to respond with d5. Okay, so it's sort of a queen's gambit. I'm going to play the Slav Defense with c6, supporting the pawn on d5. You can also play pawn to e6 instead of c6. That'll be the queen's gambit decline. Okay, so you play bishop f4, pretty natural move, getting the bishop out. So he's going for a pretty natural setup with knight f3, knight c3, bishop moves to e2 or d3, and short castles. Alright, in response, I'm going to play a sort of constrained way, get my knight to d7, and then I'm going to play e6, solidifying my center. Alright, so yeah, it's very natural moves. I'm debating whether to play a6 first or bishop e7. I'll play a6 so that I can take the pawn and then play b5. Because that's black's plan in this position, is to take the pawn, play b5, play c5. So these type of positions can be very sharp. So one needs to have great tactical vision. Alright, so I take, he took back, and now I want to play b5. And then next move, I'm going to play c5. Yep. Hope you all are following the rapid championships that are going on right now. So all of the top chess players are playing 25-minute games, and it's very interesting to watch. Right here, I'm thinking between b4 and bishop b7. I think I'll play bishop b7. But yeah, so the rapid championships is currently being broadcasted by the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube channel. There you'll find grandmasters analyzing those games. I find it very entertaining to see how they play. It's very instructive. Yeah, so he's not threatening anything. I think I'll just keep the tension, which is always good, and castle short, get my king out of the center. So I've achieved my goal, which is play c5, and now I have a really nice bishop, and I have space on the queen side. Yeah, so I think I'll well, with knight e5, he's giving himself a isolated queen's pawn. But should I play b4? Alright, let's take first. And then next move I'll play b4. So I expect after b4 he was going to play knight a4. And then I'll play rook c8 to challenge his rook. And if he takes my knight, probably take back with my knight to protect against my my weak points. Yeah, so this seems like a pretty normal position. Nothing too complicated yet. I say yet because things in the Slav can get pretty complicated. And if you're not prepared for it, you can run into trouble. So I have also knight takes bishop, my knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, queen d5. Then you can play knight f4, attacking my queen, protecting g2. Then I can play queen takes a2. But then he's gonna play rook c2. So I'm just gonna contest the c file. Because whenever I move my queen, if I don't do this, he's gonna have a rook c7. And that's not that good for me. It's a fork on both my bishops here. So I'm sort of setting up the idea of taking this knight and playing queen d5. Okay, so he's putting his knight on g3. Yes, so I'm gonna do as I said. Queen d5. So he takes with the d pawn. Then I have rook takes rook. And he has to recapture. Well, he didn't do that, so he doesn't say he can't take with the queen because then I'll take the bishop. Alright, so I'm threatening checkmate. Hopefully he'll miss it. And then I can just win the game. But most likely he's going to play f3. He can't play bishop e4 because then I'll take my knight. Yeah, so after f3, he has created some weaknesses which I can exploit later on. Yeah, so if he takes my knight with his bishop, that'll be fantastic. I'm thinking about bishop c5, but it's probably not working. I can also trade rooks and play rook c8. Yeah. You might play queen b1, guarding the pawn. He does so. Play h6. Yeah, I probably should have taken that pawn when I had the chance. Now it's too late because the queen is protecting it. Okay. So I like where my pieces are right now. I like where I like where my bishops, my knight, my rook, they will have pretty good squares. That's a good move because this knight wasn't doing so well. So he wants to trade it for my good knight. So what I take, he's gonna take with his pawn. It's another piece attacking my king. Maybe I play this move. Now I like this move because it attacks the bishop. If he doesn't have a tactic, then he has to either play f4 or move the bishop. And if he moves the bishop, then I'll take this pawn with check, and then he has to play knight f2 to protect against the bishop, to protect his bishop. Yeah, so I like this move. It does two things. It attacks the bishop, and it prevents it from being captured by his knight. And so let's see what he responds to this. My opinion is not that clear what he should do. Like if he plays f4, then I'll just take the bishop. If he takes to the d pawn, then I'll take his bishop. I mean, actually, I forgot this queen. Yeah, so he can play f4, and then if I take, you take with the d pawn, and then he has a hold over my d6 point. Yep. I do hope you all enjoy these types of videos. If you do, please let me know in the comments section or give a like and subscribe. Okay. What is that move? That makes no sense. That does not make sense. Because there's no discovery, right? I hope there's no discovery. Because now my queen is opposite his rook. So if he moves his knight, then I have to move my queen also. Question is, does he have a good square for the knight? And I don't think so. So that's why I took the pawn. And now I'm up a pawn, a center pawn. His most important pawn, actually. Alright, so he weakens more dark squares, which is good for me. I want to try to get my rook active now. I'll start with a check. Getting my queen off of this file. Rook d8 also. Very good move. So he has to either play rook d1 or move the bishop. If he moves the bishop, then we'll see what I can do. Okay, so that's a solid square for the bishop. Do I have bishop h4? That's the question. Seems interesting. just attacking the rook. He can't play rook d1. So if he plays g3, he's weakening his king further, which I can exploit later on in the game. Yes, we're thinking long term here. He has all his pawns on the same color as his bishop, meaning that the squares of the opposite color are weak. In this case, it is the dark squares. So see how I can exploit it? By moving my bishop here, I'm exploiting these weaknesses, and I'm attacking the rook. And he has no really good way of protecting or stopping this. So yeah, he plays rook c1. So my bishop is sitting pretty over here. Let's see if there's a tactic like something like f5, giving up the pawn, although it doesn't work right now. So what if I play king h8? Very sneaky move. But the idea is to play f5, and now he doesn't have bishop e6, check. I think if I make this knight, well, his knight doesn't have any squares right now. So if I play f5, I'm actually winning the knight. Yeah, we'll see what he responds with. I think king h8 is a pretty sneaky move. I'm not sure if he's gonna see what the threat is. I mean, I'm still up a pawn. G3. Now, an idea that came to my head is to play bishop takes g3, knight takes g3, bishop takes f3 check, king h2, and queen f2. That's checkmates. Now, I'm not sure if he has a tactic that I'm gonna miss right now. I don't think so. So that's a pretty strong move right there. And he fell right into it. It's pretty embarrassing for him to be checkmated this way. Yep. So queen f2 checkmate. Very good game. So let's open the analysis board. And I apologize if the clock was a bit cut off. I'll try to improve that in future videos. Okay. Yeah, so it's a pretty normal position. Yeah, I like a6. If the computer wants to close it up, I played a6. He can close it up, and now he has a clamp over my b6 square. But that's a totally different position. Yeah, so black has a pretty solid advantage here. Played b4 first, and rook c8. Yeah, so the computer wants to take the pawn. Play the second best move. Yeah. Because sometimes taking pawns would make your pieces bad, and so in some cases, especially if the pawn is not like a center pawn, then you shouldn't take it. Alright, why is this negative 3 point? This is just because I won a pawn. Also f5. No, f5 no. Or yeah, bishop. I instead went for this, which is also winning. Thankfully, this is also a good move. Yeah, I'm glad I found this. Although f5, what's because queen c2, rook g1. Okay, but this is still winning, so apparently f5 much better. So what if he moves the knight? No, right, the knight's trapped. I mean, what if he takes this? I mean, there we go. Then this is a little bit less clear for me. But yeah, this is just mate. So pretty good game. I did not make any obvious blunders or any serious mistakes, and then I got checkmate. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.